It started with a break-in. Not the kind that leaves broken windows or stolen goods. This one was quieter, crueler. A single boot print beneath Maya's window. A folded note on her desk. "You're not safe, even with him." Liam Brooks stood in the doorway of his daughter's room, jaw clenched, heart racing. His hands on steady as a firefighter in burning chaos now trembled as he held the note. It was the third one this month. First came the shadowed car parked across the street at midnight. Then came the threatening text Maya refused to talk about. Now, this. 15 years old and slipping further from him every day, Maya wore rebellion like armor. Purple streaks in her hair, sharp eyes that rarely softened, and a silence that hurt more than any insult. Since her mother died 5 years ago, Liam had tried to be everything. Father, friend, protector, but grief had carved a space between them that neither knew how to cross. Liam didn't want to admit it, but he was scared. That night, after Maya went to bed, he made a call he never thought he'd make. The security agency was discreet. High level, no ads, no websites. Just a name whispered among men who had money and something to lose. Her name was Cassidy Maddox, age 36, ex-military, decorated, untouchable. The file said she specialized in close protection, high-risk extraction, surveillance, and counter-threat operations. What it didn't say was that she had requested the case herself. When she walked into the auto shop the next day, Liam didn't recognize her. Tall, poised, with a quiet presence that spoke louder than words. She wore all black, tactical boots, fitted cargo pants, a light jacket that somehow made her look both unthreatening and lethal. Her hair was pulled back, and her face unreadable except for a faint scar that curved beneath her jaw like a whisper from a past life. "You're Liam Brooks," she said, voice low and calm. "I'm Cassidy. I'll be watching your daughter." He studied her skeptical. "You don't look like the usual type." She didn't blink. That's the point. Cassidy had been watching the house since 3 a.m. She moved like shadow, blending in with routine, never too visible, never too distant. Maya hated her immediately. Slammed doors, rolled eyes. "So I've got a babysitter now?" she snapped. "What's next? Tracking chips?" Liam tried to mediate, but Cassidy never took it personally. She'd seen girls like Maya before. Wounded, sharp, and hiding behind anger because fear was too heavy to carry out loud. What Liam didn't know, what Cassidy kept locked away, was that 20 years ago, she had huddled behind a gas station dumpster for 3 days straight, cold, starving, 15, ready to give up, until a man with oil-stained hands and fire-scarred arms knelt beside her and said, "You hungry, kid?" He brought her chili, didn't ask questions, drove her to a shelter, gave her his name in case she ever needed it. That man was Liam Brooks. And now, after years of war, shadows, and blood, she had seen his name again in a protection request. There was no hesitation. She took the job without asking the agency for permission. Some debts are owed not in money, but in moments, and Cassidy remembered every second of the one Liam gave her. The first week passed in tense silence. Cassidy followed from a distance, school drop-offs, store runs, even shadowing Maya from inside the mall when she skipped class. Maya tested limits. Liam questioned Cassidy's methods. But it all changed on a Tuesday afternoon. The school parking lot was mostly empty when it happened. Cassidy spotted the man before anyone else, a figure in a hoodie, pacing behind the fence line. Too close. Too still. Her instincts snapped like a wire pulled too tight. Then Maya came out, alone, walking toward her father's car. The figure moved fast. Cassidy ran. The man pulled something from his coat. She tackled him before the metal glinted. Screams. A struggle. Maya froze. Teachers ran. The weapon clattered to the ground, a knife. Police arrived. The man had no ID, no clear motive, just a symbol tattooed behind his ear. Cassidy's face turned pale when she saw it. It wasn't random. It was military, and not local. It was from her past. That night, Liam paced the living room floor, while Cassidy sat by the window, eyes trained outside. "You knew that symbol," Liam said quietly. She nodded once. "What aren't you telling me?" Cassidy turned to him slowly. For the first time since arriving, her voice cracked not from fear, but from the weight of memory. "I think they're here for me," she said. "But they're using your daughter to send a message." Cassidy didn't flinch when Liam raised his voice. "You think they're here for you? And you didn't say anything before taking this job?" She stayed still, like a soldier under fire, not defensive, just grounded in the weight of what she knew. "I didn't expect it to follow me here," she said quietly. "But I recognized the symbol. It belongs to a paramilitary unitone that wasn't supposed to exist." Liam stared, disbelieving. "What kind of unit?" Cassidy hesitated, then finally said it. "Black Echo. Off the record. Deep extraction, no oversight, zero accountability. We were ghosts. When things went wrong, there were no headlines, just ashes." She looked down at her hand-scarred knuckles, twitching thumb. 3 years ago, I disobeyed a direct order. Saved civilians we were supposed to leave behind. That decision buried people. Now someone wants me to pay." The silence between them was thick. Liam's breath came slow and uneven. "And they're using my daughter to punish you?" Cassidy met his eyes. "It started with the car outside. The notes. They're warnings. But today that was a test. Next time won't be." Upstairs, Maya sat at the top of the stairs, knees tucked under her chin, listening to every word. She didn't understand most of it, but she caught the one thing that mattered. They were coming for her. The bravado she wore at school cracked a little that night. When Liam peeked into her room, she didn't yell, didn't curse, just asked, "Is she staying?" He nodded. "Yeah." For a while, Maya stared at the ceiling. "Good." Cassidy moved into the guest room with a backpack and a locked duffel. She didn't sleep much. She cleaned her sidearm twice, set up cameras Liam didn't know how to install, built a silent rotation front porch, hallway, Maya's school route. On the third night, Liam brought her coffee, watching her monitor the front yard. "You always this thorough?" She didn't look away. "Only when it matters." He hesitated, then asked, "Why'd you take this job?" A pause. Then, "Because I owe you." Liam frowned. "Me? We've never met before last week." Cassidy's face remained unreadable. "Maybe not like this." The next day, Maya skipped class again. But this time, Cassidy didn't follow. She waited. At 3:17 p.m., Maya came storming in the door, furious. "You just let me leave?" Cassidy didn't rise. "Did you want me to follow you?" Maya froze. It was the first time someone hadn't chased her, punished her, or begged her to talk. "Where did you go?" Cassidy asked, softer. Maya muttered, "Just walked. Thought if I got in trouble, maybe Dad would actually see me instead of hovering over a ghost." Cassidy nodded slowly. "He sees you more than you think. He just doesn't know how to show it anymore." Maya didn't respond, but she didn't leave the room, either. Later that night, Liam sat in the garage, welding sparks bouncing off the floor. Cassidy approached quietly, setting a bowl beside him. "Chili," she said. "I made it." Liam looked surprised. "You cook?" "Only one thing. Learned it from someone once. Oil, stained hands, fire, scarred arms." His eyes flicked to her face. "Wait." But she was already walking back inside. The following week was quiet, too quiet. The cameras caught nothing. No suspicious movement, no cars. But Cassidy felt it in her gut. Calm like this always meant something worse was coming. That night, Maya knocked on Cassidy's door for the first time. "I had a nightmare," she mumbled. Cassidy nodded. Sit. Maya climbed onto the bed, curled up at the edge. They were in the house, she whispered. You weren't there, and Dad didn't make it. Cassidy listened. That won't happen. Not while I'm here. Then Maya asked the question that changed everything. Why do you care? Cassidy took a long breath. Because once, when I was your age, your dad gave me food, warmth, a ride to safety. He didn't know me, but he saved me. Maya blinked. You're the girl from the gas station? Cassidy looked at her, startled. He told you that story? Only once, Maya whispered. He thought I was asleep. He said he wondered what happened to you. Cassidy smiled faintly. Tell him, I came back. Outside, across the street, a car engine purred in the dark. A figure leaned back in the driver's seat, tapping a photo on their phone. It was Maya, with the caption, Next time no warning. The photo arrived at 2:47 a.m. Cassidy was already awake when her secure line buzzed. A burner number, no message, just the image. Maya crossing the school lawn, her backpack slung loose, unaware. And under it, those 4 words. Next time, no warning. Cassidy's blood went cold. She walked straight to Liam's room, knocked once. He opened the door, eyes foggy with sleep. They're escalating, she said flatly, and handed him the phone. He stared at the screen, his jaw locked, his grip tightened. When was this taken? 2 hours ago. By morning, Maya knew something was wrong. Cassidy wouldn't let her leave the house not for school, not even for fresh air. Liam tried to soften the blow, offered to bring home ice cream and a movie, but Maya saw through the concern. You're both hiding something. Cassidy glanced at Liam. He gave her a small nod. So she showed Maya the photo. At first, the girl laughed, thinking it was a prank. But when she saw her father's face, the blood drained from hers. They're following me? Not just following, Cassidy said. They're warning me. Maya blinked. Why? What did you do? Cassidy looked away. Something I thought was right, but someone else didn't. Later that day, Cassidy reached out to her contact at the agency. Sylvia Lang answered on the first ring. I had a feeling I'd hear from you. They made contact, Cassidy said. Maya's officially a target. Sylvia swore under her breath. I told you not to take this case. We both knew Black Echo wasn't done with you. I don't care. This family matters. I owe them. There was a pause. What do you need? Pull any chatter from the dark boards. Focus on ex-Black Echo operatives. Anyone gone rogue in the last 6 months. Done. But Cassidy, this gets worse. There won't be backup. You know that, right? I'm not asking for backup, she said. Just a name. That night, Liam found Cassidy sitting on the back porch, her rifle disassembled in her lap. I don't want my daughter near danger, he said, voice shaking. But right now, it feels like she's only safe because you brought it. Cassidy didn't flinch. You're right. You didn't ask for this. So, why didn't you walk away? She looked at him, finally. And this time, something in her expression broke open. Because you didn't walk away from me. And then, Liam remembered, fully, the scar, the chili, the silence behind the dumpster. You were that girl, the one I... Cassidy nodded once. I was cold, starving. You brought me food, a blanket, drove me to that shelter without asking why I was there. No judgment. No questions. Liam sat down beside her, stunned. You saved me, she whispered. So when I saw your name on that file, I knew it was my turn. Inside, Maya pressed her hand to the glass, watching them. She hadn't seen her father like that in years, vulnerable, quiet, full of unspoken emotion. And Cassidy, she wasn't just a bodyguard anymore. She was something else now. a bridge between the fractured parts of their lives. But peace didn't last. The next day, Cassidy checked the security feed and froze. Camera 3 backyard had gone offline. She moved fast, scanned the perimeter. All quiet. Until she reached the fence. A single feather was pinned to the wood. Black, sharp, tied with red string. It wasn't a message. It was a signature. And Cassidy knew exactly whose. His name was Reese Talon, former Black Echo. Brilliant, unhinged, sadistic in ways the military couldn't control. He'd been court-martialed and discharged for violating mission parameters, but no one ever found the bodies. He was the one Cassidy disobeyed orders to stop. And now, he was here. That evening, Cassidy briefed Liam and Maya in the living room. This man Reese doesn't make threats. He makes statements. He's not after Maya to hurt her. He wants her because she matters to me. This is personal. Liam clenched his fists. Then we stop him. Call the police. The agency. Anyone. Cassidy shook her head. He won't play by those rules. If we escalate with law enforcement, he'll go underground. We won't find him until it's too late. Maya spoke for the first time. So what do we do? Cassidy looked her dead in the eye. We prepare. We stay sharp. And when he comes, we end this. Outside, in a motel off Highway 9, Reese cleaned his blade with eerie calm. He studied photos of Cassidy, Liam, and Maya on the wall, pinned in a perfect triangle. He whispered, "Let's see if the girl you saved is worth dying for." Maya didn't sleep that night. Neither did Cassidy. The house was quiet, but the air felt thick like the silence before a storm. Every creak in the walls, every shift of wind outside the window felt like a signal. Liam stayed up too, sitting at the kitchen table with a bat in his hand, even though he knew it wouldn't be enough. They were waiting for something they couldn't predict. Only feel. And Cassidy? She had a plan. By morning, she'd installed 2 more motion sensors and moved Liam's truck to block the side alley. Then she took Maya into the living room and handed her something that made Liam freeze. A knife. Maya stared at it, confused and a little scared. What am I supposed to do with this? Cassidy knelt beside her. Learn. Liam stepped forward. Cassidy, she's a kid. She's not a target. She's a person. And she deserves to feel like she has some control. Maya hesitated, then took the knife, gripping it like she'd seen in the movies. Cassidy gently corrected her fingers. Number like this. Thumb low, elbow loose. If you panic, stab don't swing. It wasn't just training. It was trust. For the first time, someone wasn't trying to protect Maya by locking her down. They were showing her how to stand. That afternoon, Cassidy left the house for exactly 28 minutes. When she came back, she had a file in her hand. She sat across from Liam at the kitchen table and opened it slowly. Photos, grainy surveillance stills, maps with red pins. And at the center of it all, Reese Talon. His eyes were ice cold even on paper. Cassidy pointed to a photo taken just a day ago him, buying gas at a station only 8 miles from their house. He's already nearby. He's toying with us. Liam's voice was low. So what do we do? Cassidy tapped the map. We draw him out. I know how he thinks. He wants me off balance, so we make him believe I'm gone. Liam stiffened. You want to leave? Number, I want him to think I've left. If he thinks the house is unguarded, he'll move faster. Liam glanced toward the stairs where Maya was, quiet in her room. And if you're wrong? Cassidy met his eyes. I'm not. Night fell. Cassidy packed a visible duffel, got in a borrowed car, and drove off down the street, making sure she passed every camera Reese might be watching. Then, a mile away, she circled back on foot through the woods behind the house. No headlights. No sound. She slipped back inside through the rear basement door. By 3:15 a.m., she was under the stairs, waiting, breathing, listening. Maya had trouble sleeping again. Her room felt too big, too dark. She got up, tiptoed into the hallway, and sat at the top of the stairs with a blanket wrapped around her. That's where Cassidy found her. "You okay?" she whispered. Maya nodded slowly. "Are you scared?" Cassidy thought about lying. Instead, she sat beside her. "Yeah, I am." Maya tilted her head. "Even after all you've done? All you've seen?" Cassidy's voice was soft. "That's why I'm scared. Because I've seen what men like Reese can do." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Maya said, "He won't win." Cassidy smiled faintly. "Number, he won't." But Reese was already moving. At that exact moment, he stood across the street behind the shell of an abandoned house. Dressed in black, gloves on, blade in hand. He watched as Liam turned off the final light in the living room. Watched as Maya's bedroom window went dark. He waited 8 more minutes, then crossed the street. The motion sensor didn't catch him, because he didn't go through the gate. He scaled the fence instead, silent and precise. Landed in the garden without leaving a trace. The knife stayed tucked against his chest like it was part of him. He circled the side of the house, found the basement window, and smiled. Inside, Cassidy felt the shift before the sound. A subtle vibration in the floorboards. She rose without a word and signaled Liam with a single glance. He ushered Maya into the pantry and locked the door from the inside. Cassidy drew her weapon. The back door creaked. She didn't wait. She moved toward the sound quiet, steady, heartbeat sharp in her ears. Reese was already halfway inside when she struck. A flash of metal. A grunt. His knife sliced air, where her shoulder had been a second earlier. She fired once, missed. He vanished into the shadows of the living room. Cassidy followed. They moved like predators in a cage asylum, circling, dangerous. Reese spoke first. "I thought you'd grown soft, Cassidy. Domestic, teaching teenagers how to hold knives." She didn't answer. He chuckled. "All this? For a mechanic's kid?" "You touched her," Cassidy said. "You made her afraid." "That's the point." She moved first. He blocked, countered, knocked her back against the wall. The house shook. Upstairs, Liam clutched Maya tight, praying. Cassidy fought like someone who'd lost too much to lose again. But Reese was brutal, unrelenting, surgical. They crashed through the dining room, through the hallway, over the table. Blood hit the tile Cassidy's arm. She kicked him off. He staggered. She went for her gun. Too late. He struck her ribsons twice. She gasped. Then, a sound neither of them expected. Maya's scream, followed by a swing. The sound of metal cracking skull. Reese collapsed. Behind him, Maya stood, hands shaking, a fireplace poker in her grip. "I told you," she whispered. "You wouldn't win." Cassidy staggered to her knees, breathing, alive. Maya dropped the poker and ran to her side. Cassidy looked at her and smiled. "That's good form," she whispered. The sun was just starting to rise when the ambulance pulled away. Reese was alive, but barely. The paramedics didn't ask questions. They didn't have to. One look at the bruises on Cassidy, the blood on Maya's sleeves, and the cracked fireplace poker told them everything they needed to know. Inside the house, everything was still. Too still. Liam stood at the sink, rinsing blood from his hands. Not his. Cassidy's. Maya's. He stared into the water, trying to believe it was really over. But Cassidy? She was sitting on the stairs. Shirt torn, ribs taped. A stitched-up cut across her arm. She hadn't said a word since the EMTs left. Maya sat beside her, not crying, just watching. There was nothing left to fear, but there was everything to feel. Later that morning, Liam stepped out into the backyard. He needed space, but when he turned around, Cassidy was there. Same bruises, same silence. Only this time, she spoke. "I should have told you." Liam nodded slowly. "About Reese?" "About me." She told him everything. About the mission, gone wrong. The ambush. The 7 soldiers, who never made it home. Reese had been one of them. She left him behind. "He was my responsibility," Cassidy said quietly. "He begged me not to leave him, but I had to choose between saving him or saving the others." She saved the others. And Reese never forgave her. Liam didn't speak for a long time. Finally, he said, "That doesn't make you a villain." Cassidy didn't agree. But she didn't argue either. Inside, Maya was changing. The girl who used to hide behind locked doors now moved with quiet strength. She didn't flinch when Liam hugged her, didn't look away when Cassidy met her eyes. She was becoming something new, someone stronger. And it terrified Liam, and made him proud. 2 days passed. Then, a letter arrived. It wasn't from Reese. It was from the Department of Defense. Cassidy opened it in silence. Inside was a single-page debrief request. Classified clearance level. No return address. Maya watched her read it. "What does it mean?" she asked. Cassidy folded the letter slowly. "It means someone higher up just noticed I've been playing soldier again." "Are they going to punish you?" Cassidy smiled. "Number, they're going to ask for a favor." That night, Liam cooked dinner. A real dinner. Chicken, mashed potatoes, sweet rolls from the corner bakery Maya liked. He set 3 plates. Cassidy blinked when she saw hers. "You didn't have to." "I did," Liam said simply. She sat. They ate. Halfway through the meal, Maya looked up. "Will you stay?" Cassidy paused. "For tonight?" "Number, I mean. After. For real." Liam watched Cassidy closely. Her fingers tightened around the fork. "I don't belong in a house like this," she said softly. Maya frowned. "Why not?" "Because peace makes me uncomfortable." Liam pushed his chair back, stood up, and walked to her side. "Cassidy." She looked up. "I've seen what it looks like when you fight, but I've also seen what it looks like when you protect, when you teach, when you care. You belong here more than you think." She didn't answer right away. Then quietly she whispered, "What if I mess it up?" "You won't." Maya smiled across the table. "We've all messed up. It's kinda our thing." Later that night, Liam found Cassidy outside on the porch. Stars overhead. Quiet all around. "I still remember you," he said. Cassidy glanced at him. "From when?" "From when I was 18, bleeding out in a desert. You were just a voice through the static, telling me I'd be okay." Her eyes went wide. "That was you?" He nodded. "You called me kid, told me to bite down on my shirt and not pass out." Cassidy let out a short, surprised laugh. "You survived. You kept me alive." They stood there for a moment. Then Liam reached into his pocket, pulled out a chain, a small silver dog tag on it. He held it out. "You dropped this when you ran toward the gunfire." She took it in her hands, staring at it like it was a ghost. "You kept it?" "I kept you." Cassidy looked at him. Really looked. And for the first time since the night she arrived. Her eyes didn't hold tension. They held something else. Warmth. Belonging. Maybe even hope. It rained the next morning. Not a storm, just a steady, quiet drizzle that made everything feel still. Liam stood at the window, coffee in hand, watching Cassidy pace the porch. She'd been out there for over an hour, reading and rereading the same classified letter from the Department of Defense. She was trying to decide. Stay or go. He didn't push, didn't speak, just waited. Inside, Maya was painting again. For the first time in weeks, her brush didn't shake. She didn't look over her shoulder. She didn't check the locks. She painted a sun, a real one. No storm clouds, no shadows. Cassidy noticed. She smiled, but it didn't make the choice any easier. By noon, her bag was packed. Military-style duffel. Clean lines, tightly rolled shirts, one pair of boots. She stood in the doorway. Liam leaned against the frame. "You sure?" Cassidy nodded. "It's a short assignment, a cleanup. They need someone who's already off-grid." He didn't argue, didn't try to stop her. Instead, he asked, "Will you come back?" Cassidy glanced at Maya, who was pretending not to listen from the staircase. "I want to." "Then do," Liam said simply. She left that afternoon. No hugs. No dramatic music. Just a promise. "I'll come back," she told Maya. Maya didn't cry. She just nodded. "You better." 3 weeks passed. Then 4. The house stayed quiet. Safe. Maya started sleeping with the door open. She laughed more. Drew more. Ate breakfast without being told. One night, Liam found her outside in the backyard, standing barefoot in the grass, staring at the sky. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Waiting." "For what?" Maya looked up at him. "You'll see." The next morning, before the sun even rose there, was a knock on the door. Not a loud one. Just 2 short raps. Liam opened it. Cassidy stood there, drenched in rain, bruised again, but smiling. "I brought something," she said. She stepped aside. A German shepherd padded into view, muzzle gray with age, but eyes alert. "Meet Ghost," she said. "He was my tracker in Afghanistan. He's retired now." Thought Maya might like him. From the top of the stairs, Maya gasped. "Is he ours?" Cassidy looked at Liam. He nodded. "Yes," she said. "He's yours." Life didn't return to normal. It became something better. Cassidy didn't talk much about the mission. She didn't need to. The scars were enough. But she stayed. At first, it was just until Ghost settled in. Then it was just until Maya finished her art program. Then it was permanent. She started leaving her bag unpacked. Started putting a toothbrush in the bathroom. Started sleeping in the guest room without locking the door. One night, Liam made dinner again. Steak, real mashed potatoes, garlic bread this time. He poured her a glass of wine. She raised an eyebrow. "Trying to impress me?" Liam smirked. "Is it working?" Cassidy took a sip. "You already did." After dinner, they sat on the porch. The sky was clear. No rain this time. Just stars. Cassidy leaned back in her chair. "I never thought peace would feel like this." Liam nodded. "You don't have to fight anymore." Cassidy looked at him. "I know, but I still would. For you, for Maya." He turned toward her, took her hand, and for the first time since they'd met, since the lies, the scars, the danger, she let herself belong. Not as a bodyguard. Not as a soldier. Not as a survivor. But as family. Somewhere in the night, Maya shouted from upstairs. "Dad, Cassidy." "What is it?" Liam called back. There was a pause. Then a grin in her voice. "Nothing. I just wanted to say goodnight." Cassidy chuckled. "Good night, kid." Liam smiled. "Sweet dreams." The porch went quiet again. But inside them both, something stirred. Not fear. Not sorrow. Just something simple. Home.